Hello, good afternoon, everybody. It is so heartening and wonderful to see so many of you come out to honor our friend, a great American treasure, Senator Bob Dole. And it is fitting that we would meet here at the World War II Memorial because this, of course, is the place that Senator Bob would come so often, especially in his later years, to meet you. He came here looking for you. Soldier, service member, caregiver, patriot. He came to grasp your hand, to lock eyes, to convey what could never be sufficiently captured with words alone. Bravery, selflessness, sacrifice, loyalty. Those are the qualities that animate so many pilgrimages to this place. And on some cold mornings, his seemed a one-man mission to honor those journeys and to stand in solidarity with those who could never make them. Thousands upon thousands of young lives memorialized here, of which Bob Dole was almost one. This monument is made of stone. His life was a flesh and blood monument to the values that we revere here. I have to marvel that of all people, it should be me here today talking about Senator Dole. We met only a few years ago, and yet somehow he and Mrs. Dole, Senator Elizabeth, took me under their wing, embraced me, and befriended me. They would call to ask about the kids or chat about the big game. Over the years, they might send treats or an admired book or a note of encouragement. During the pandemic, we even once had a FaceTime with my then 3- and 5-year-old and the Dole dogs. That was wild. When I told Senator Bob that the pandemic had forced me to anchor the news from my basement, he didn't miss a beat and said, "Well, I guess you've really hit rock bottom now." In short, what a glorious surprise, so marvelous and unexpected, this treasure of relationship, and inside it, a valuable lesson. Senator Bob showed me that even well into your 90s, it is never too late to make a new friend. We are all here this afternoon because Bob Dole stood for something. He stood for principle. He stood for dignity. He stood for integrity. He stood for friendship. He stood for his country. That he fought and bled for. A son of Kansas, a young man brimming with talent and promise and ambition, he went off to do his duty, and he came back body broken and dreams smashed. He suffered unfathomably, but he willed himself to recover and heal and find a new path. He stood for resilience and determination and hope. And even when he couldn't stand any longer, at the casket of an old friend who could forget, still he stood out of respect and out of honor. They were the greatest generation. But Senator Bob believed in the promise of every generation, and this one too. Don't let your spirits fall today. Don't cast your eyes downward and say, "There goes one of the last good ones." Do what he would do and raise them up. Believe in the promise of this country and the goodness of its people. In these divided times, you may say, that is not easy to do. But easy isn't what is asked of any of us. Bob Dole once called himself the most optimistic man in America, and if he could be, then surely we can too. What an extraordinary life. And to the love of that life, dearest Elizabeth, I know how deeply you grieve your beloved, how sweet was the company you kept for nearly 50 years, how you will miss the humor and charm of your dearest companion. I also know of your deep faith and of his, and that connection between you is eternal and unbroken. It is how you will hold hands with him until you meet again. Over the summer, I called to wish the Doles a happy birthday. They're both July babies. And I was just about to leave for Tokyo to cover the Summer Olympics. Senator Bob told me, keep your eye on the quarter miler, his old track event, the 440-yard dash. 98 years old, long confined to a wheelchair, he still remembered his best time. That Kansas racetrack was not far from mine. As I thought about that this week, the old scripture came to memory, 2 Timothy 4:7. For I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Bob Dole finished his race. He fought the good fight. He kept the faith. And now I imagine him in the heavens, no longer limited by his earthly wounds, able to run again with speed and lightness and grace. Or maybe, better yet, to rest in peace and satisfaction for a life well lived. Thank you, Senator Bob, and thank you, Senator Elizabeth, for the honor of knowing you. To dear Robin and the extended Dole family, my deepest condolences, and thank you for the privilege of a lifetime to speak here today. And now, I'll introduce a great friend of Senator Dole's and a great friend of this museum and this place, Mr. Tom Hanks.